begin next. So we'll get the first one ready. Yep. And we'll get into Ephesians here. Although I'm not going to bring up both of them. I'm just going to bring up Ephesians 1, and then I'll switch to 3 as we're going through it, because I'm also going to try to include Hebrews 6:12 into the next audio break. My Beloved featuring Crowder, Passion, here on God'sLoveLive.com with Chuckles in the afternoon. I hope you're having a great afternoon. I hope you go check out the video, because we do talk between breaks about a great many things. We actually talked about Colossians 1:12 between the last two breaks, and we talked about inheritance. And I do want to bring up real quick as we pick back up into this. I'm not going to go back to the Colossians thing and read it. You can read it. It's Colossians 1, verse 12. But it's also, how would I say this? It's also confirmed throughout all kinds of different places in the gospel and in the Old Testament and the New Testament, all through the Bible, as co-heirs with Christ, heirs of God. There's an expectation that we have to receive our inheritance, as long as we're meeting the expectations of God that we should meet in order to receive that inheritance. So we're going to get into, right now, Galatians 4:7. I've always loved this one. So you are no longer a slave, but a son. And if a son, then an heir through God. Formerly, when you did not know God, you were enslaved to those that by nature are not God's. But now that you have come to know God, or rather to be known by God, how can you turn your back again to the weak and worthless elementary principles of this world, whose slaves you want to be once more? And this was speaking to the church in Galatia. Galatia? Is that right? Galata? Whatever. This is Paul, speaking to the church that wanted to go back to that. They were leaning back towards some of their pagan beliefs, and he was like, no, this is not a thing you can do. And this also brings in this like confirms what we read in that paragraph earlier in the 12 o'clock hour, and talked about that crucifixion is not instantaneous, and the crucifixion of our sin, the believer's sin, the death of our sin, is not something that takes place in a momentary, wonderful blessing. We are made new creation when we give ourselves to the Lord and we are baptized. We must then embrace that identity and put that sin and fleshly nature to death, just as if it was on the cross with Christ, because it was. He took that sin upon himself on the cross. He paid the punishment, and now we need to make sure to make it stick, I guess would be the best way to say it. We need to go through that same process, not physically, but spiritually. That's the beginning when we're baptized, not the goal. It's 2 for Tuesday.